If you guys need help gearing up for any of the new content or vehicles that have just arrived in Grand Theft Auto Online, check out G2A with the link in the description. And make sure you use cashback code BOSS at checkout if you want to save a little bit extra as well. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be giving you guys my review of the brand new vehicle added to Grand Theft Auto Online, and that is the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, one of the most hyped and highly anticipated vehicles, in my opinion, to ever be added into the game. But I'm also going to be giving you guys one bit of buyer beware that could have a huge impact on this car. However, let's start with the good. The good is it's not all that terribly expensive. So again, this vehicle can be found on the Southern San Andreas Super Auto site for $745,000. Now, if this was 2013, probably would have been the most expensive vehicle added in the update. But it's 2019, especially given how Rockstar prices a lot of their vehicles recently. $745,000 is really not all that bad in the grand scheme of things, especially for the type of car that you're ultimately getting here. And when you compare it to some of the other prices of the Diamond Casino and Resort vehicles, again, it's really not all that bad. Now, that's not to minimize that you nearly have to spend $750,000 just to get this vehicle, and by the time you're done upgrading it, it's probably going to be well over $1 million, but I still don't think it's that terrible. Now, speaking of the customization of this car, let's take a look at that next, and this is where this vehicle really just shines. The fact that it has 26 customization options is absolutely incredible. And one thing you'll find is that a lot of the customization slots will have like multiple different options for them. So 26 is just like the bare minimum. You've obviously got front and rear bumper. Under the respray option, you've got primary, secondary, and trim, which is really, really cool. So if you wanted to, you could easily spend, 15, 20, 30 minutes customizing this car, and you could still come up with some pretty credible options for this vehicle. Now, one thing I did try with this car and that I've never noticed before is that it comes with this stock spoiler on there, just sort of like the Progen Emirates. And I actually tried to remove this by using the, stock spoiler, choose the last spoiler option, and I couldn't seem to get it to be removed. So this vehicle does have a spoiler by default, and there's no way to get rid of it. Although the stock spoiler and the secondary lip spoiler, which is the default one on there, in my opinion, I think it looks really good, and it's super minimalistic in general, so I don't think that will be a big problem. Although, if you do keep the stock spoiler on there, just know that you won't be receiving the traction bonus. So as you guys can see there, that you need to at least choose one of the non-stock options in order to get that traction upgrade, which, as we'll talk about in a little bit, you're going to need every bit you can on this car. Now, again, in the description, I will leave a link to a video I did about a month ago that outlines some of the other quirks and features about the Gauntlet Hellfire. Like 95% of this car I am a huge fan of, but there's about 5% like the spoiler option right there, the fact that you can't have none on there, the fact that there's that giant bumper on the front, that giant splitter, that's a little bit obnoxious to me. If you go with one of the side exhaust options, the exhaust ports in the back are still there. So there's a couple of little quirks about this car that I think are a little bit silly. But again, overall, your customization options here are absolutely incredible. So you should have absolutely no issues coming up with some incredible customization options for this vehicle. Now, let's talk about probably the one downside of this car. And I was actually kind of shocked to find out about this. And just from about the 45 minutes or an hour or so that I've had this car, it's not all that great performance-wise. Now, the one thing I did notice is that in a straight line, I took this car to the airport and I just started going back and forth. And I was thinking to myself, man, this vehicle is really quick. This is probably going to be one of the better muscle cars in the game. And that is actually true, that this is one of the fastest muscle cars in the game. Now, I don't know where it stacks up to maybe some of the other muscle cars that have been recently added, but I do know it's really fast in a straight line. The one thing I also know about this vehicle, it can't turn. And I'm sure some of that is my really crappy driving, but this vehicle does not handle corners very well, and it also doesn't brake very well either. Now, again, all of this is coming from my personal driving experience that I've had from this vehicle in single player and about the hour that I've had it in GTA Online. And I am certainly not the greatest driver, but one thing's for sure is that every time I turn with this car, I'm either spinning out or oversteering or understeering, or I'm going too fast and not having enough braking, so I'm running into a palm tree or a light post before I get to my turn or after my turn. So overall, that is really a big downside of this vehicle, that it really just doesn't perform all that well. Now, sure, if you're drag racing some other muscle cars, it might be okay. But for most practical uses of this vehicle, that's where you're going to run into some issues. Even going around in free roam. Free roam's not just a straight line, nor is racing. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are doing muscle races. I can't say it's the most popular category. I'd say that the big three probably belongs to like motorcycles, sports cars, and supercars. But if you are, I don't think this is the vehicle that you'd ultimately want to be choosing. However, with all of that said, I'm pretty sure that the reason most people are going to be purchasing this vehicle is not for the performance. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys would have liked the performance to be better, but I'm pretty confident that like 90, maybe 95% of people, maybe all the people that are buying this vehicle are buying it because of what this vehicle is based off of in real life. And this vehicle is based off of the Dodge Demon. I'm sure there's also a little bit of Hellcat mixed in there as well. But essentially what the Demon and Hellcat is Dodge's like version of the Challenger on like steroids. Those vehicles in real life are unbelievably powerful, unbelievably quick. They are so menacing looking, and they sound incredible too. Now, on the note of sound, this is, I don't know if this would be like some Rockstar logic or if Rockstar was doing this for their Newswire post, but take a listen to this right here. This is like the small trailer that they provided on their Newswire to sort of showcase the Bravado Gauntlet. And take a listen to how menacing the Gauntlet sounds in this trailer. And then when we sort of compare that to how it sounds in game, it sounds nothing similar. So on that advertisement right there, Rockstar made the Gauntlet sound so much more menacing than it actually sounds in game. Again, I'm not sure if they did that on purpose or just for the sake of that little advertisement, but that's definitely something I noticed, that it sounds way better in that advertisement than it does in game. Now, don't get me wrong, it still sounds really good in game. There's no shortage of beefy muscle sounds going on here, but it just sounds way better in the advertisement for whatever reason. So what's my overall opinion of this vehicle? Regardless of how it is performance-wise, buy this car. I think that the Dodge Demon, Dodge Hellcat is one of the greatest muscle cars ever created, and the fact that Rockstar added this into the game is awesome. And that's another reason why I think it might be one of the best vehicles they've ever added, is because of the fanfare surrounding this vehicle. So many people were asking for it to be added, and Rockstar delivered. And they delivered in a really great way, aside from a little bit of performance issues. But other than that, the car looks great. In my opinion, it sounds great. With a little bit of practice and maybe a better driver behind the wheel, it still can handle pretty good. So overall, I think this car is an A+, and one that I think you certainly should buy. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What is your opinion on the brand new vehicle added to GTA Online, the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire? Are you going to be buying this vehicle, or are you going to be staying away from it? Or you might be waiting for it to come on discount before you end up buying it. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And remember to subscribe if you guys are new or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA 5 casino news, info, videos, and more. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.